Today we're at a game convention and we want to collect as many Sonic the Hedgehog games as possible to celebrate the new Sonic movie. There's over 125 games across 26 different consoles, so we have our work cut out for us. Now, this is the first time we'll see Shadow the Hedgehog on the big screen, and with the first two movies gaining over $700 million globally, will this be the movie that gets the series over $1 billion? In comparison, all the Sonic games have earned about $9 billion, with Sonic 1 by itself earning an estimated $2.7 billion. But anyways, each of us here have experience with Sonic games, so this should be a lot of fun. David grew up playing Sonic games and is a huge fan, but slowly lost his voice during the convention. My introduction to Sonic was playing one of the worst games ever made, and Alpal, well, he hasn't actually played any games, so I lied. But he does love the Detroit Lions, who have players nicknamed Sonic and Knuckles. So we're at our first booth, and Alpal just found a bunch of Sonic stuff to start us off, like a lot of Sonic stuff. It's
actually some ones that I didn't expect to find so early on.
Yeah, that's...
Cardboard, Sega Genesis, and Game Gear. Especially Game Gear is hard to find in the box.
You have truly the best mix ever.
I know. I honestly
Genesis.
Never even heard of the Sonic Forces before.
Is that newer? That has to be,
newer.
right?
Switch, newer.
Okay.
Switch newer, right? Yeah.
So these were all $5 a piece.
Yep.
Let's lock that in. $25. These guys, I don't know, and these guys we'll have to look into as well. I know that this is a very, very popular game. I think it came out for GameCube and Dreamcast.
Yes.
But with the new Sonic movie coming out, I would imagine a lot of people would be looking for this.
A lot of people ask for that game specifically.
And I want to try and find Shadow the Hedgehog while we're here as well for the GameCube, because, or was it GameCube or PS2?
GameCube.
GameCube.
Oh, both.
And Xbox,
Okay.
I think.
And Xbox. There you go. Keanu Reeves as Shadow. Good or bad casting? You let me know. I like it.
With Shadow's voice, yeah, I think it's good.
Something dark.
I do believe that this is the first game that Shadow was ever appeared.
Oh,
Okay.
really?
Interesting. What was the first game Sonic appeared in?
Sonic the Hedgehog for the Genesis.
Okay.
All right, so we're at 80 here.
Okay.
How close could you get to 50?
65.
You do 60.
Puts me at 20 off. And you're getting more?
We're getting more.
Okay. Yeah, that's because I don't have any crazy attachment to the Game Gear stuff.
Okay.
Or
60 it
Genesis
is.
in general. So
All right, perfect.
60.
So you're nice to us on that. 60 on both these guys?
Yeah, because I don't think this is
It's not
10.
worth much.
Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine. So
Okay.
120.
Yep.
There's 120 there.
Sweet. Okay, so we are adding 10 games for $120. I think a solid goal today, seeing what we found here, and I know there's still good ones. Should we shoot for like 30 games right now?
I think we can shoot for 35.
30. Oh, gotta go
I think
fast.
like the PS2, Xbox, I think we'll be able to find those pretty easily.
Okay.
Oh look, it's Alex Kidd.
Oh, it's Alex Kidd. Brother Dave, look.
The mascot for Sega
Alex
before
Kidd.
Sonic.
Yeah, believe it or not, that was somehow the mascot that Sega wanted to rival Mario with. They made a good pivot, to say the very least.
They did.
They
No
made
one
probably the
knows.
best pivot.
I feel offended that Alex Kidd wasn't a good mascot. I can't think of why.
So this introduces a new challenge. Some of the games that we're looking for today are going to be in bins like this. Typically, when we go hunting,
That's
oh my gosh, I played that game. It is bad. That was that was my introduction to Sonic, and apparently that's the worst Sonic game ever made.
That's what I feel like. It's pretty general consensus on that one.
I mean, I was a kid playing the PS3, and I wasn't very good. But even still, I could hardly get past the first like level or two. I was just confused the entire time. The direction of the game, don't know. 3D platforming type was still new to me. But as a kid, I knew it was bad, and it made me not buy another Sonic game ever.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that made you stop, right?
It made me stop, and there were some cool ones like Sonic Unleashed looks super cool, and I was like, if it's anything like that last one, I don't want it. Here's another example of Alex Kidd. So they remade it for the Switch, or just a completely new game. So, I mean, that could have been a cool mascot. Maybe just not your flagship mascot for all of Sega, you know? So I found Sonic 3. I know this is one we need. Let me see if I can find anything else Sonic related as well.
I found another Game Gear. I'm actually excited to find Game Gear right now because I want I know the Sonics are hard to find in Game Gear, so we got both of these. We're gonna make a deal for both of them.
Then we just added Sonic for the Game Gear and Sonic the Hedgehog 3 at that last booth. $25. And with Sonic 3, we now have the first 3 Sonic games, and each of these games are pretty similar, but the main difference from a gameplay standpoint is the character, Tails. Tails isn't actually in the original Sonic game, and makes his first appearance in Sonic 2 as a playable character. And in Sonic 3, he can fly and even swim underwater, something Sonic could only dream of doing.
You know, I'm gonna say I've never been so excited to see Game Gear games.
Yeah?
Now I am.
Just because of Sonic?
Yep.
There's a few to go for. There's quite a few.
There is.
Including, I think, just Tails for the Game Gear.
There is Tails.
And that's really expensive. And does that count? Do we count Tails? Is it a Sonic game?
Yes.
I think we should.
Okay,
yes,
we're gonna count it.
Yep.
Adding 3 more games, Sonic Mania Plus, Sonic Mania, Team Sonic Racing, kind of a 2-in-1 deal here, and Sonic Adventure DX. Sonic Adventure DX was an enhanced version of Sonic Adventure for the Dreamcast with updated graphics, 60 new missions, and includes Metal Sonic as an unlockable character. And Sonic Mania takes place right after the events of Sonic 3. It was praised for its return to classic gameplay and paid homage to the original games with some fun Easter eggs. But we need to go look around. We haven't even visited like a third of this place, like in depth.
We spent time at 3 booths so far.
I forget if it was this game or Sonic Adventure 2 for the Sega Dreamcast. A bunch of the discs were printed with nothing on them. They were printing discs in like 4 different warehouses. One got completely messed up, and some of the copies out there can't read unless if you have like a special boot disc for a Dreamcast. It is nuts. I think we'll come back on that. My offer would be offensive.
There he is again.
Maybe we look. The Alex Kidd.
Oh, we have Sonic Spinball, don't we?
We do have Sonic Spinball. We got the cartridge for that. What about Wonder Boy? Wonder Boy is like the wannabe Alex Kidd who's the wannabe Sonic. His 3rd string. Ooh, just found Sonic CD. It's got a broken
case, but we do have
I think we have 2 replacements in stock right now.
The cover art doesn't seem to be affected by that, so.
Open it up, see if the reg card's there. They have registration cards on the inside.
It looks like it is there, so that does add value to the game.
Not much, but for collectors it can. Could you do 58 on this one?
I can get close with 60. Is that all right?
60? Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Sonic CD added. Sonic CD is an interesting one for a few reasons. First off, the Sega CD itself is a console edition that requires you to attach your Sega Genesis into it in order to play anything. I think Sega wanted to go the way of CD-based games for its future, but then for whatever reason they introduced the Sega 32X edition, which went back to cartridges. Anyways, Sonic CD involves time travel, 2D platforming, and areas where it's almost like a pseudo 3D space, similar to Mario Kart for the Super Nintendo. The graphics were praised for its time, and this game also features the first appearance of Amy Rose. She's kind of like the Princess Peach to Mario in this game, except in nearly every other game, Amy is obsessed with Sonic.
Sonic Heroes, Sonic Riders. I thought we had Sonic Unleashed.
We should look at it.
Okay, we did. I thought we did. Or we got Sonic and the Black Ring, Sonic Unleashed, Sonic Heroes, and Sonic Riders. Those are all games that we don't have. Oh, I feel like that one's a hard one to come by. I don't know if I've seen this game. I'm sure I have at some point, but it doesn't ring a bell.
Sonic Battle, man.
You don't see Sonic Battle.
I don't think I've played that game, but it looks really fun.
It looks really fun. Look here, there he is.
Look at them battling.
Look at them. Look at them battling.
What do you think they're battling about?
Sonic.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
We ended up buying all 5 of these games, and they each have very unique mechanics. Sonic Battle was a 2D arena fighting platformer game with characters each with cool abilities. Sonic and the Black Knight was a medieval-inspired game where Sonic has a magic sword. Sonic Unleashed, it's like Sonic, but you're a werewolf. In Sonic Heroes, you have a team where you need to switch characters to overcome obstacles, and it's known as one of the better games. And then Sonic Riders is a hoverboard racing game, because somehow those are faster than Sonic just running. Okay, just found Sonic Riders right here for the GameCube, but then there's also 2 more Sonic Wii U games right over here.
Sonic Lost World? I feel like that one
I've never seen that.
Oh, yeah, this is the different edition.
Oh, Deadly Six bonus edition?
Yeah, this is.
Whoa, extra deadly. We can do 35 on that. Could you do 30 for both these? $5 off each?
Is 35 okay? It's like 5 off this one because it's ugly.
Okay, I can do that. Along with those 3 games, we found Sonic Riders for the PS2, which means we now have it for all 3 consoles it was released on. And then Sonic World is an interesting one because it's kind of reminiscent of Super Mario Galaxy. You run around the world, the gravity-type mechanics are similar, but it's a bit faster. And if you like that kind of thing, you'll like it. And if you don't, then you won't. Okay, so we're at this booth and it is buy two, get one free on like most things. So I think this is gonna be a great way to add to our, our collection building. We already have a lot of games, but this is a great way to get even more. After grabbing as many Sonic games as we could find, a viewer stopped us saying he had some games to sell us in his car. We bought a ton of stuff, including a Sonic and Knuckles for the Sega Genesis, otherwise known as Gibbs and Montgomery, and a Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games, which brought us to 30 games on day one. But to make things a little more interesting, we decided to increase our goal to 50 games. I wanted to talk a little bit more about Sonic and Knuckles. So this is an interesting cartridge because there's this little thing that opens up here and you can actually plug Sonic 2 and 3 into it, and I believe it allows you to play as Knuckles and like swap in between characters, which is pretty cool. And it's cartridges like this that make me motivated to try and find some other rare games like Knuckles Chaotix or one of the Tails games. But there are a ton that we need to check off of our list in the DS and 3DS realm as well to try and hit the new goal that we just set. This game plays a lot like Sonic, actually. I mean, look at how fast he's going.
Shoes, actually. Sonic shoes based off of
I didn't know that. Thank you, David. Good. How's it going?
What you looking at?
Well, a bunch of stuff. Both these Sonic DS games, what do you have on those, guys? 15 each? Okay. For the Sonic games, how could you get to 20 on both those? Sonic games for the DS like these helped get Sonic back out in the minds of people, especially new, younger players who just got handhelds. Sonic Rush sold over 1 million units, and while Sonic Rush Adventure didn't perform as well, the introduction of games with Mario and Sonic at Olympic Games made up for it. We need these guys, David, right?
I think so.
But Sonic, Generations, 3DS, trying to find the 3DS list, goodness. Okay, we don't have any for 3DS. Now, is this a Mario game or a Sonic game, David? It's both. Okay, so we need it. Would you do 10 and 15 on those? Okay, thank you. Sonic Generations is one of the games that is considered to revive the series, along with Sonic Colors, a game we didn't find. Sonic Generations was during the 20th anniversary of Sonic and brought back classic 2D platforming and well-designed 3D platforming. Sonic Colors was a vibrant 3D platformer that was received much better than the awful Sonic 2006 game, showing that the franchise could still be popular. And Mania PS4. Okay, you're right. I don't think we have.
Bin, there may be some Sonic. So that's 2 for 15. Anything in that bin.
Okay.
There may be some Sonic related stuff somewhere.
Let me just dig through here real quick and then.
Yeah, feel free to throw them out or whatever you need to do to make it easy on yourself.
Yeah.
It might just be the Sega collections I'm thinking of.
Yeah. This one, David? I don't think we have that guy. Sonic's on this one. Does that mean we get it?
Sure.
Okay. I see Tails.
Why does no one have lines here?
Do you have this one? We're in Ohio. We're in Ohio. We have to be careful. And you said it's 2 for 15?
2 for 15.
Okay. We'll just do these two then.
Okay.
And then let's call it there. So we just added 6 Sonic games to the list, but there's actually one more that you have. You want to shout out anything?
Millennium Collector and Columbus Flea Market. It was
Okay.
Ohio based and love doing this stuff. Happy
Awesome.
to see you guys here.
All right. Well, could you do 10 on it?
Yep. Sure can.
Okay, cool. And I'll keep looking around. With 37 games found and not a lot of time left in the convention, Alpal and I decided to split up to cover more ground. We picked up Sonic Labyrinth and Triple Trouble for the Game Gear and 3 Mario and Sonic Olympic games, bringing us to 42 games in total. But then we were invited to a very promising booth. Hey, how's it going, man?
Good to see you.
Good to see ya.
Pick some stuff out, get some discounts.
Okay. We found Knuckles Chaotix. I don't know if we're gonna purchase it, but this is a holy grail piece for the 32X, I would say.
It's a pretty neat one.
Yeah. So clearly there's Knuckles, but you also have our boy Vector, the alligator. And then let's see, back here we have, I believe that's Charmy, the bee, and then we have Espio, and he's a chameleon, although he doesn't really look like it. This is a cool one to find and a cool one to see. Thank you for letting me look at it.
Hanging out with us for a little bit.
Yeah,
We appreciate it.
yeah. Shout out your.
Filthy games.
That's right. And they're not filthy. They're good.
They're pretty clean.
Yeah.
We do our best.
Okay, so we found Shadow the Hedgehog. Now, this is it. This is the movie. It's Keanu Reeves, dude. We found it.
It is.
And
I
you-
actually found Shadow the Hedgehog.
Shadow the Hedgehog. We just need them on PS2 and we could get all of them.
It's awesome. We found 2 copies of Shadow the Hedgehog because this game is wild. Shadow has tons of weapons in this game, including a grenade launcher. He drives cool vehicles, and overall the game has a very interesting story. I personally think Keanu was a great pick for this role in the movie because it mirrors his role in John Wick. It's literally just Keanu the Hedgehog. We were really in crunch time, so we found 4 more games that Sonic appears in, and yes, you can be Sonic in Super Mario Maker. But with no more Sonic games in sight and the convention winding down, it hit me. On day 1, we turned down Sonic Adventure for the Dreamcast because it didn't have a manual, so we headed straight for that booth. All right, well, do we have Sonic Adventure? We talked about this one yesterday. Is this the one that gets us home?
Am I the one?
Yeah. Now, while we were there, we actually thought that this was going to be our 50th game. However, earlier we had miscounted, so we're still only at 49, even after purchasing this game. What is the best you can do on this guy?
For you guys, 38.
What'd you say?
38.
38? Make it just 35, nice and clean. Cool, I appreciate it. Thank you, man.
All right, welcome.
We were super excited at the time until we realized our error. And now that the convention was over, we needed to find Sonic in just one more game. So we decided the easiest thing to do was to meet Sonic and maybe Knuckles themselves at their own game. Great time, and we're super curious what your favorite Sonic game or memory is, so let us know in the comments. If you made it this far, consider subscribing and check out this video next.